We're already live on Facebook. So happy Thursday, everybody. Thank you for being here with us for Thursday Live with John, who is, by the way, in Vietnam now. Vietnam is their second leg of their Asia visit. And then from Vietnam, they're gonna go to Philippines and then to Singapore. But Thursday Live will always be with our brand ambassadors family and the rest of us from around the world. And today, again, we will open the session with Giovanni and Leticia from Italy, and we will be helped by brand ambassadors Buffy, Carrie, Ashley, Sabine, and I think Kathleen also will be sharing some swatches. And we'll see later if we have more time. I think we are so far good with time. We may be able to accommodate a few more to share their artworks. So over to you, Gio.
Okay. Sorry for today, but I use with my phone because my computer is died. And today the list of colors starting with Prussian green, rare green earth.
You have to change the camera, please.
Is possible to change the camera?
Who?
Ethel, my top cam.
Your top camera. This
Yeah.
is Dish, so let me just rename.
Okay.
Hang on.
With my hand.
Top camera. Where are you, top camera? Geo.
Okay.
There. Add spotlight. Okay.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Ethel. Okay. I'm starting with Prussian green, rare green earth, undersea green, olive green, green gold, rich green gold. This too is beautiful. Nickel yellow, Verona gold ochre, French ochre, Rosienna light, Burgundy yellow ochre, chrome titanate yellow, yellow ochre, Mars yellow, Rosienna, transparent yellow oxide, and Monte Amiata natural sienna, enviro-friendly red iron oxide, goethite, brown ochre, and quinacridone deep gold. This is the list. And Ethel helping me with the syllab in the computer, but I prepared these little tips. Is the only little tips for study in my mind, for pick up in my mind the concept of the syllab. Please, all of you use for study the beautiful tool, beautiful gift from John in the website. This exercise is very, very simple because I use the 4 watercolor, yellow, blue, red, and green for create the concept of syllab. This is a worm. This is a red. This is a cool. And this is a greener. It's a simple exercise. And if you want, this is a 2D mode. If you want to create it in the 3D mode, it's a simple foam balls with watercolor ground and create the 3-axis. For example, I created this with transparent watercolor ground. I create this part. Is a only simple exercise. And green. This is a 3D mode. It's a
Mhm.
very simple. Okay, Ethel, can I share the screen?
Okay, we do the screen sharing of our new and improved interactive color map.
Yeah.
So I think as and when we do the Thursday live, we can do it this way so that we will all be familiar with how to navigate the website. There are actually many ways to go to our color map. One is of course here on the landing page. It's here, explore our color map. Or you can simply go to resources. Let me just hide my other windows. Resources, and it's here, the third color map. So we hit color map. And Gia, just give me a cue. Which color from here? Where do you want to go?
Okay.
On the ochre.
On the ochre.
Okay, so we do search
Okay, Verona Gold Ochre.
Verona. Okay, it's already here.
Okay, French Ochre.
Okay.
And Burgundy, Yellow Ochre, sorry. Add to compare.
Berg.
Okay.
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 What else?
And no, this compare these three color. Add to compare.
There's our Verona. Burgundy.
Yeah.
Did you miss one color?
And Burgundy and Yellow Ochre.
Yellow.
Another.
Let's add yellow. Okay. There you go.
Okay. Perfect. This is okay. I read in my screen. Is a tricolor, for example, is the first bar to yellow ochre is low staining, and the other boot is no staining. All tricolor is granulating family. All tricolor is transparent family. This characteristic is searching, for example, Ethel, in close these windows, Ethel, please.
Okay. Do you
Is
wanna?
in the search
Mhm.
search and filter, for example, is another search is a low staining or transparent. In this case, in this color. Now you select this three color, and for example, pushing the transparent in the transparency
Mhm.
is the three color remain because all these three color is transparent. For example, you push the semi-transparent.
They're gone.
Because it is all the three color is transparent, and this is another tips for the searching. And for example, is the temperature is in the temperature. For example, is pushing, for example, cool.
No, no.
Is because this color is now warmer color, warmest
Because they're
color.
warm, right? Warmest.
Yeah,
Okay. Let's
warmest.
there.
Is the warmest. Is a very tips for searching the color and comparing very characteristic color. Is very beautiful tips. And for example, this color is more redder for the color up. For example, both yellow ochre. And another search is the family.
Mhm. There.
This family in yellow
Yellow.
family.
Mm.
The yellow family is only the two. In the red family, push red family is compared because Bart Yellow Rocker is near the redner section. It's very interesting. Okay. ready to go.
Yay. Thank you, Gio. I
Thank you
thought,
too.
I hope we all followed. That was just like um an exercise in terms of what among the many things that we can do from our interactive color map. I think Gio today, a few minutes ago, just shared like 1 to 2 tips. There are more to discover from this interactive map. So from here, we will move to the real swatching. And we
Yeah.
begin with the first set of colors which will be swatched by Buffy. So we will put on spotlight, Buffy's camera. There you go.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Buffy.
Hello, hello. So today I swatched out 5 of the colors that Gio named. I'm going to be sharing Raw Sienna Light, Quinacridone Deep Gold, the Enviro-Friendly Red Iron Oxide, the Rare Green Earth, and then the Prussian Green. So here I swatched them out, and then here I poured them into a wet area to see how they behave in that way. And since we do a lot of swatching traditional, I thought it would be fun to show you how colors behave when they're poured. So I prepared a project to share with you guys. A little rose, and I used masking tape, and this is the contractor grade Scotch 2020 tape on Amazon, and a little knife to cut each piece of the masking out. And we're going to see how it holds up to a lot of wet, luscious paint. So I'll start just by getting everything wet. Every time I've tried this method with the masking tape, it's always not worked out because the water will end up seeping under the tape because of how wet I paint. I do a lot of wet on wet, loose abstract, and then a lot of pouring. But this tape has been really fun to play with. And you can see how it completely masks. Amazing. And putting the tape on here was very therapeutic as well. And I'm just gonna re-stir my colors up really quick to make sure they're ready to go.
Sorry, Buffy, can you tell us what kind of tape that is again?
This is the contractor grade Scotch, and it says number 2020. So
2020.
you guys see that there? 2020.
Yeah, cool.
And
Thank
then
you.
I used an Excel little knife
Yeah.
to cut it. And I got to do this sitting in the living room, watching TV, taking care of my puppy who's not feeling good. So I get my paper wet and I just give it a minute to wake up. Since it's cotton paper, the little fibers will open up. And I just give it a second. I make sure I get a little more water around the tape line because that always wants to dry first. And then I just start pouring some color. And this can be so fun when you want to explore different color mixes and you want to loosen up a little and just have something very different in your paintings. It's also a wonderful way to get beautiful backgrounds. For instance, you could mask something that you want to paint very, very realistic, and then you can wet all around it and get this beautiful, beautiful play of color. I like to do a little bit of finger painting to make sure the colors move where I want them. And then I'm still letting it kind of stain and set up before I rock it. I find that this gives me the best chance of all the different colors, getting a chance to stain the paper a bit. For instance, the C Lab, Gio, does it have a button for staining or how much something will lift? Because that would be a great use of the C Lab. And then once I get the colors to kind of set on there a minute, then I can move the colors around. And the goal is to move them just enough to where they get around all the masking, but not too much to where it all becomes one neutral. Because if I keep rocking it, right, all these colors are going to mix into like a gray. But by only moving it a little bit, I'll have some real pretty colors on there. So then when you guys come back, I'll have this dried and I can continue to paint as we move along. So
Hey.
isn't that pretty? I especially love when you pour and you get this bit of the white paper showing through. That is always really exciting because when it dries, it'll look very like a light leak or a light effect in your work.
Thank you, Buffy.
Thank you for letting me share.
Very nice.
And then now we'll invite
Very beautiful.
Carrie.
No, I love that, Buffy. It's so neat to see it poured. So I can't wait to see when we come back. So I have 5 colors today that ironically we're going with the painting that I just finished. So I'll show that in a second. So I have green gold. I love this color. It's pretty staining, non-granulating, a transparent color. Rich green gold, which is a 2 on the staining and a non-granulating. And it's a semi-transparent. Nickel azo yellow, which is a 2 on the staining, non-granulating, and it's transparent. Undersea green, love this green, use it all the time. 3 on the staining, it does granulate and it is semi-transparent. And then transparent yellow oxide, 2 on the staining, it is granulating and it is transparent. And then if you're following along with it, I've been doing these color swatches. So I have filled out all the way up till today. And then I wanted to show these colors that were those 5 colors. This is every mix with those 5 together. So there's the swatches. So I kind of went down the row. And so I started with this one and then just went down and added each one to them. So it's kind of neat to see how they play together. Aren't they beautiful? And they get some neat mixes, some mix more than others, but I just thought it was neat to see, you know, this really, they're almost like a little abstract paintings. I feel like I should cut these out and make a collage.
Yeah, sure.
It's true.
Nice.
Those are pretty, really
Wouldn't
nice.
that be-
Nice.
And then this is the painting that I just finished called In a Pickle. And it has a lot of these
That's
colors
great.
in it. And I'm starting an inflation series because I said groceries are so expensive. They're luxury items now. So I've got to immortalize. So this is In a Pickle. And so today I have focused on 1 jar of pickles and I'm going to demo 1 jar using my 5 colors. And then I am going to use one other, the red, let me see what it's called. I needed a darker red in mine, so I'm going to use the iron oxide, the red iron oxide, environmental friendly iron oxide. So this is my pickles. I have done a glaze, an initial wash with nickel azo yellow. So we're getting that bright pickly yellow color. And then now on top of that, I have taken my masking fluid and you can see it's a little bit tinted, right? So that like blue tinted, that's my masking fluid. And that's so I can get all of that pickle seed. I'll show you on here. So where I have like the pickle seeds, there's darker and then there's some lighter. So this is how I achieve that with the masking on top of the wash. So I'm going to start layering a couple of these and then so we're going to go in and we'll start on this pickle over here. So this one I've masked out the bright yellow areas around the edges and it's got darker seeds in the middle. So I'm going to come back in with that nickel azo.
Carrie, do you have any tips on masking over a color and how to stop when you remove the masking from lifting the undercolor?
So it's very important. I'm glad you said that, Caroline, because masking over a color, it's crucial to have it dry. It has to be like bone dry before you mask on top of it, or you'll risk ripping your paper. I will add that I paint on 156-pound paper. So I can't talk to like 140-pound paper. Maybe somebody else has more experience with masking on top of a color on 140-pound paper, but this is 156-pound paper, which is kind of in between the 300. It's arches. And so I mask on the completely dry, and then whenever you are going to lift it, I always use a rubber cement pickup.
Rubber.
That's what that looks like. It's kind of like the sole of a shoe. If you've ever felt like the Doc Marten soles of the shoes of Doc Marten, that's what they feel like. And I always assume everybody knows what they are. And then I see so many people using their fingers or other things to try to get masking off, and it's easy to rip your paper. And I've never had that happen with the rubber cement pickup. So let it dry completely before you lift. And you can do varying degrees of this. You know, I'm doing right now, I have that initial light wash because I want the lightness. If I wanted to, now after I do a second glaze like this, I could go back in and let that dry in between layers, and then add another, layer of more little speckles with my masking fluid to get a real layered look. I've been doing that a lot more and more lately. In fact, I use masking a lot, and then the more I paint and the more detailed, the more I use it. And it is kind of an art form. I apply my masking fluid with a ruling pen. It's like a drafting tool. That's how that's the easiest way for me. I've never enjoyed doing the brush. And so that's the easiest way. And I get a lot of control with the ruling pen. They're not all created equal, so you need a good ruling pen that's in a nice drafting set. Okay, so I'm gonna now go into green, this is green gold, just green gold. And green gold is more of this bright green color. Let me show you the difference between the two. So the green gold's got that real bright green, and then this is a little more mustardy. So we're in the bright green on top of this nickel azo. And
Carrie,
I mix.
Carrie, have a question. What color is underneath the green gold? Is that a transparent?
Nickel azo yellow.
Oh, nickel. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, so I did my initial wash with that, and then I did another glaze on top with that nickel azo yellow. And it gets that bright color. Aren't these bright, pretty colors?
Yes.
And then we give Carrie time to let it dry, and then of course she will just continue to build her colors there. And while we wait for that, we can invite Ashley. Ashley.
Thank you.
Yeah. What is this third color,
Awesome.
Carrie? Like the one that you're applying now?
Are you talking to me?
This color, what is this color now?
This is the nickel azo yellow again. I'm coming back in with a third glaze now. I'm having these green gold and the nickel azo kind of mixed together in my wet on wet. Adding some
We
water.
can just watch Carrie paint for the rest of this. I love watching you paint.
Me too. I watched the replay of last week's greens, and Carrie shared a tip on softening the edges of her masking fluid, that she starts in the middle of the mask area and works towards the edge. That is such a helpful tip because I've been using masking fluid for years and no one had ever taught me that. So thank you so much, Carrie. I appreciate you.
Oh, thank you. I know it's like masking is a blessing and a curse, right? I think we all feel that way. Some people just absolutely hate it and won't use it. But I think it is really, really, really helpful. And the more, it's like anything, the more you master it, the better you get at it. So it just takes a lot of practice. And then you learn all those little things. And like Caroline said, it does lift a little bit of pigment when you take the masking off, when you're putting it on over a layered color. So you keep that in mind. And if you want to deepen the color for your initial wash, you want to deepen it a little bit, or it can be really helpful in getting a lifted technique. So you could use that intentionally to lift pigment in a place that you want highlights by just applying the masking later and doing that. And it depends on how how well that pigment lifts. So that's where these color charts and the C-Lab and everything, it comes in so handy to know which ones, how staining they are and how much they lift. And of course, the more you paint with the color, the more you get to know it. This is still that nickel azo. See how I build it up as I'm going. I'm trying to get as much as I can with these values in this color difference. Then I'm going to get back. Now I'm going to switch over to the rich green gold. For this pickle down here. I'm using a size 8 brush today. But see how I'm playing around with this, and I come back in with consistency. So I'm coming in with a more creamy consistency, and I paint with these in pan form. I make my own. And so I'm coming in with more, I'm trying to really build up this value in one pass. Drop a little in over here.
Carrie, is this all wet on wet?
Yeah, it's all wet on wet. I do them in controlled areas, like a little at a time.
Okay.
Instead of the whole thing.
I think that's why I like watching you paint, is because of the way that you section off certain areas and you it's so satisfying.
Well, thank you. It's kind of like having it come out of a printer, it's like
Yeah.
at a time, little at a time. But I establish my values that way, and I know whether a painting is working. I understand, I've had people say, well, I think if I tried to do that, my painting that way, it would look schizophrenic, like somebody else painted this side. But to me, this is just how I adopted to not have that kind of ugly adolescent phase in the middle of a painting where you're not sure if it's working. And then a lot of people are like, I don't know if I should quit, or, where I am in the process. And with this, I'm like, okay, I've established this is how dark everything's getting. Everything else has got to come up to this. Trying to get these little pickle seeds in here, the darker ones. This is the rich green gold.
So Carrie, I love that you're painting directly out of those pans, but if you want like a really, how am I trying to say this? Like a really watery color, do you just put a lot of water on the paper?
Yeah, I would get my paper wet first, and then I would drop in the pigment. Like my darkest dark, I mix the indigo and sepia 50-50, and I have that in a big Chinese butcher tray, so I can get a bigger brush in there. So if you need to, the big picture of the pickles I did, the whole background was kind of a color that I custom made, and I don't do that a whole lot, but I did mix that up in a little bowl, so it's whatever your painting dictates how you want to do it. But what I was doing was I was becoming like a palette hoarder, and I just had all these palettes. I wouldn't let go of the colors that were in there, and it was becoming ridiculous. And then I thought, well, I can't travel each with all this, so I was trying to adopt a practice. And then what happened as an end result when I'm doing this and mixing it on here is I didn't get mud very much. I got these bright, pretty colors because I'm letting that watercolor do what it's supposed to do. Kind of like Buffy with the pouring, you're letting these colors mingle together without mixing them.
Yeah, and see, that's why I'm interested in trying this, because what happens with me is I either mix up too much water, and then I end up mixing up more paint, and then it's too dark, and then I end up mixing more water, and then it's like I never get the right colors with mixing it on the palette. So I'm really interested in
I
trying.
know, I think it can
way.
get really overwhelming. And so that was
Yeah.
kind of my whole thing, was to kind of simplify the whole thing for myself and not overwhelm myself.
Yeah, yeah.
And so
So I'm
that's
really
where that-
interested in
that's-
trying it this way.
Maybe we can go over to Ashley now. Are you ready, Ashley?
Yep, I am ready.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Carrie, for showing that.
Thank you.
Let's see.
Thank
here.
you, Carrie.
Thank you.
Very nice, Carrie.
There we
There you go. Over to you, Ashley.
So thank you. These are my colors. Got some ochres and one green. I had to have green in here, so we stole a green from somebody else. I think we've got somebody else talking about olive green. That's okay. Can't get enough green. Okay, so I'm gonna start over here. This is goethite brown ochre. And I've heard, I think Gabriel, he's not here today, but Gabriel loves this color for the beach.
Yeah,
He does a lot of beach scenes. I don't actually have it. I used a dot card to make this swatch. And now I think I need it. I've never used it before, but yeah, what a fantastic sand color. That's PY43 for any of you pigment nerds. And actually most of these, so yellow ochre, Verona gold ochre, those are all PY43. They're just processed differently. So I thought that was really interesting. All of these colors are granulating. And then over here, we've got Mars yellow. It's really fun. This is also from my dot card. You can get a lot of paint off the little dot cards.
It looks like a slice of toast.
Yeah, it does. I could make a sandwich if I painted one with like green. We could put some avocado on it. It'd be delicious.
Wonder bread.
Yeah. Yes. So yeah, yellow ochre is your classic. I love the granulation in all of these. Verona gold ochre is a very like understated color, but it's so delicate. It's still got the granulation. Oh, and I kind of stole Stella's spot today in swatching. So in honor of Stella, I have painted some flowers. There you go, Stella. Here's your flowers.
Very nice.
Thank you. I was
That's
playing
so
around
pretty.
with this dagger brush. This is not my thing. I do very controlled pet portraits. So this was a little bit of a stretch. Isn't it beautiful?
Oh, it is.
So I use this to kind of play with petals and have some fun. But this is all this green. This is that olive green. And this is a convenience color, but it's a fantastic convenience color. So it's got PY97, PB29, I believe that's ultramarine, and then PBR7, which is actually this raw sienna. So that's a mixture. So I did that for the leaves. And then the lighter ochre colors, that's your Verona gold ochre. You can see that. And then for the dark spots on the flowers, I was able to mix. Let me show you. We've got raw sienna. I know my palette is like a work of art in and of itself. You see that? It's just a tile from Home Depot. It's like $1.50. This is the best mixing surface ever. But this is the olive green and the raw sienna mixed together. Look at that, beautiful.
Nice.
That's beautiful. And so I was able to kind of get a nice brown color out of that for these center of my little petals.
Very pretty.
That's
Thank
so
you.
pretty, Ashley.
Thank you. This is me branching out. I am not a floral painter, but I could be. I could paint anything really with all these amazing paints.
Looks like fun, Ashley.
It was fun.
flowers.
Thank you.
Yes.
It was fun. And that's really all I have for today. If any of you are interested in this dagger, this is a Princeton Neptune. It's kind of like
Nice.
a mimic squirrel. It's
Yeah, nice
beautiful.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lots of fun.
Thank you, Ashley. Very nice.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley. Now you're gonna have Sabine's.
Okay. I just
All the way from
the
Switzerland.
camera.
Hi, Sabine from Switzerland.
Yes. Today I have a challenge for me. I have the colors olive green, French ochre, burgund yellow ochre, and they are near in the color. And here is the comb titan yellow, Monte Amata, and rose sienna. And so I make a color card. And when I look at the colors, I mix it together. So I think, oh, that's the special, that's the color for a face. And I started to make faces, just not for the really first time, but maybe for the second time. And I started, and I know where to place for the eyes, and I just feel for the shadows, and I think, okay, that's pretty but not good enough. And so I started to make more. And so I have a little challenge and make it wet in wet, and just from these nice colors.
Sabina, you painted all of us in Zoom. I can see all of us.
Yes. And so I make this for you in tonight. And this is the last color. It's rose sienna. And so we can do it together. We go on, this is my palette, and this is the raw sienna, the last color. And we make just the head, and we go to make the trousers. I chose, it's a man, a woman with trousers, and they're walking. And I make the arms. And here's the elbow. And the face, you just make a little sorrow eyes. And a nose. And
I think you just painted George Politis, but you shouldn't put hair on him.
Yes. And some
If you don't-
shadows. And so you can, it's so funny, and you can do it the whole time. And you just can get some colors in and out, and so you can create faces, and can learn to sit the shadows and to let it smile, and that's so nice.
If you go and check Instagram and find Sabina's profile, she recently started, as in this year, the series for Feel Free with 3. So it means she's using 3 colors. And then she can just create anything with the 3 colors. But we actually noticed Sabine, because of her fun exercises that involves with just a dot of colors. She always starts with the dot of colors and expands it to something like this. Yeah. Thank you, Sabine.
Thank you. Thank
That's
you.
nice.
Let me show.
That's good. Check. Kathleen, are you ready to share your swatch, or did you paint? Is she back there? I think she stepped out. So
I did.
I-
I
oh.
am painting, but I don't have any way to show the other camera now.
We can use the front facing cam. If your painting is not wet, then you can just show it. Okay.
I'll just show it real quickly.
Okay. But your camera is off.
I know, yeah.
You ready? Oh, there you go.
So I'm working on a plate of avocados, and the colors that are in here are, I kind of took colors from everybody's, but I had to find colors I had. So red iron oxide and green gold and rich green gold and a lot of undersea green. And very important is the nickel azo yellow. So, yes, thank you for letting me share that. Thank you.
Kathleen, I've got some toast to go with your avocados.
I saw that. I saw that. Thank you.
It looks pretty.
Thank you.
I love avocados.
Thank you, Kathleen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go back to Buffy now. The rose has blossomed.
It's blooming.
Oh, wow.
So you can see these very interesting colors that you get when you pour or you paint wet on wet and just kind of let watercolor be watercolor. And you just get, for instance, this rare green earth has this beautiful granulation, and it even comes behind the rose a little bit, but the quinacridone deep gold is so bright and vibrant that it's going right on top of that green and starting to define it. So you can then start looking at what you want to be negative, what you'd like to be positive. We could put a little leaf here. And you can have so much fun deciding what you want to include or exclude based on your image. Like I can take some of that really potent quinacridone deep gold and look at this color. I mean, talk about a shift. Look at that. The quinacridone deep gold is such an amazing color to have. And so I'm going to just keep plugging away on this, and then hopefully before we're over, I can dry it and pull some of this tape off to share with you guys the finished painting.
Buffy, did you glue the paper on the board?
It is taped down. So this is 140-pound Saunders Waterford cold press paper, and I just taped it down with some art tape.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome. And we were talking earlier, I think Carrie was talking earlier about 140-pound and using the masking fluid. And so every layer you have to let it dry. If you're painting the way Carrie paints or the way that I paint, you know, if I was using masking fluid instead of the masking tape, I'd have to let that dry 150%. Then you paint, and then if you do another layer of masking fluid, you have to let that dry 100% too. And the question was, with 140-pound paper, when you pull the masking fluid, does it take some of the color off? And yes, what it does. And so you might notice on my dot card, I have a lot of staining colors because I want to have the ability to really get as much pigment down as I can. So it's kind of one of those things where she was sharing about practicing, and over time, you know which colors work best, and that kind of thing. So
doesn't it depend also on the kinds of paper you're using, Buffy? Because some papers are softer and it will take a little more of the color, and other for artists, I don't have that. Nevertheless, I use very little masking tape, but wherever I use it over painted area, it never takes the color off.
that's a really good point. There are some papers that I won't use masking fluid with at all. Very good point.
Your paper is the Saunders Waterford?
Yeah, this is a Saunders Waterford cold press.
Cold press. It's a little softer than Arches.
Yes. Let me see really quick. I'll show you guys what rough looks like. So here's one that I did recently, and this is on the Saunders Waterford rough paper. And so instead of masking, I did negative painting and just left the white of the paper. So that's something you can do too, is just paint around things. So, but this was incredibly, a lot of paint, a lot of water, a lot of fun. I call this the hybrid way of watercolor pouring because I get so frustrated with masking sometimes.
Thank you, Buffy.
Thank you.
And let me just quickly share, Rick is not with us today, but he sent us images of swatches and artwork that he did with some of the colors featured today. So I'll quickly do a share screen. Here we go. So he used these three: quinacridone deep gold, undersea green, and yellow ochre combination to achieve this landscape.
Very nice.
Beautiful.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rick.
Brian.
And then this one too.
Very nice.
Brian.
Oh, wow.
We know by
Am I-
now. Oops, sorry.
Popped. Can you?
Okay. Hang
That's
on.
beautiful.
Let's just carry. Oh. Okay, there you go. So I know he will just watch the recorded session. So be pleased to know that you got his artwork here. Rick is known for his expressive, loose, abstract landscapes.
Mhm.
Good. And then
Very
now
nice.
move on to Carrie, and let's check her in the jar. Is that right? In the jar, in the pick. No.
A pickle in the pickle.
In the pickle.
In the pickle.
Carrie, top cam. A rose and pickles.
There we go. So here's my in a pickle. And I moved in and I have my, okay, I didn't know if I was muted. I've moved in and I have used the quinacridone deep gold and the red iron oxide in here for this, the back of the pickle. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we do.
Okay. My electricity popped a minute ago. Everything was going crazy. I was like, am I still on? So I'm going to come in now with that nickel azo yellow. Right up here. It makes that bright color. I just love it. Actually, my big painting, I think I used Mayan yellow. And so I like this color a lot. It's even more pickly. I'm gonna warm it up with the Quin burnt orange. And then down here where my reflections are coming off, I use the transparent yellow oxides for that mustardy kind of brown color down here. I might go in with another wash of that because it's not quite. I got my flat brush. I'm going to come in and a little more of that. And I'm going to warm it up with the Quin Deep Gold. And then if you want to have a glow, I'll come back in and drop in the nickel azo yellow and see if I can get a little water. See if I can get it to pop out. Glow down there. I'll get some of my rich green gold. So I like to incorporate all the colors down here, even though it doesn't look like there's a ton of colors in this little bottom part, but I like to incorporate as many of them that are in the painting because it just kind of brings it all together. And it's important when you introduce a color that you have it mixed throughout your painting in at least 3 places. I like to do the triangulation, make sure it kind of brings you into a piece if you have that in 3 places. So now that I have this dark here, I need to incorporate this besides just here. So we did a little bit down here, but I want to go in with my Quinn Deep Gold, and I want to come over here and I want to incorporate, I've got it really creamy over here because I don't want that to just be like where your eye comes in and stops. So I need to have my eye bounce around the composition. So let's incorporate it here. And let's come over here and incorporate. I'm going to bring a little in here. And then I'm going to bring a little in here. Then when I do this pickle, I might try to bring a little over on that side too. But I want my eye to bounce around. I'm going to pull a little up here. And that lid of this jar. Do you see how all of a sudden, instead of just coming right here, now we've kind of got it bouncing, our eye bouncing around.
Amazing the amount of realism you've been able to capture in this short time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's
I'm
more
trying to-
dimensional.
That was a byproduct of COVID and teaching online a lot during COVID. Is I have now streamlined a little bit. It makes you realize when you start recording yourself and teaching classes how much time you sit and let paint dry. Maybe I've gotten a little bit more efficient when I need to be. I still like to sit and let paint dry sometimes. You get the threading up here in this. And then this lid is really dark. The actual lid is blue, but to stay in our colors, I'm going to do undersea green. We did a little undersea green in that pickle earlier.
Carrie, in your painting that you used a couple of different jars, what size painting was it? What size paper?
That big pickle painting is, say that 10 times fast. That is 20 by 20 almost, 19 by 20, something like that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah,
Yeah,
I kind of let my composition dictate my size or, you know, like format, I guess I should say. I could make it larger, but I also have to factor in, you got to be sensible about shipping, framing, shipping, all those things.
And when you did your larger one, did you wash in the text that was on the lid?
No, I masked that out.
You masked it. Okay.
Masked it, yeah. And that's where that ruling pen is great. And if you get enough practice where you're good with the ruling pen, that text, I love masking the text. So that was pretty much straight the paper, that white lettering was just the paper color that was under there. Now on the sides, I had masked out the letters, and then I went back in and added, I had like a phthalo turquoise, I think, that I had incorporated the bottom of that one. And so I added that into that. The lid was phthalo blue red shade, and then I'll show you. So this part right here, I masked all of that out, and then I had masked all of this as well. But because I had phthalo blue turquoise down here, talking about that triangulation thing, I wanted to have it here and then up here so that we're kind of pulling our eye around.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
You got yourself in a pickle.
I do myself in a pickle.
It's amazing how the dark value between the pickles down the center and then the dark value of the lid really sent it. Really cool.
Yeah, isn't it? And all of a sudden it like kind of puts it in place.
Yes. Very talented.
So three-dimensional. Okay. So three-dimensional looking.
Yeah, and this is almost backwards because I have my dark in the front and my light on the sides. I'll be working this more, but these are bright on the side. So it's kind of interesting. After I did it, you know, I did all jars of cherries, like maraschino cherries, and those I did a black background for. Well, this one I ended up doing a light background, like a glowing background on the big painting, and I'm going to do a light one on this one. And I felt like it almost felt like when you're looking in your refrigerator, that light you get from the fridge.
Exactly. That's really cool.
And I have a funny picture. I wish I had it really fast so I could show you. My son helped me set this up. So these were backlit. I had a little LED set of lights that actually are color changing. So I had him hold those up behind. So he was like stooping down behind the table. So I have a funny picture and it's just his head above the pickles. Looks like a floating head. I have my boys help me with still life setups when I can't do it all on my own. My oldest son is quite the negotiator, so he asked me if he helped set up the still life and do all that, if he could get a cut of any award money or sale money that comes from it.
A true entrepreneur.
Oh, you just took the words out of my mouth, Caroline.
He is always working an angle.
Carrie, do you have a website?
Yes, my website is Carrie. Carrie is spelled Carrie, carriewallerfineart.com. And I'm on the Danielle Smith site too, as a brand ambassador. I think all that information's on there.
Yeah.
And then I just added a little of that nickel Izza's that yellow on those two lids, and it kind of just helps make those rounded now. So this is starting to be a fun little piece.
We have a few minutes left, so I think the remaining 3 minutes, 4 minutes, we can invite Ashley and Sabine again. And then I'm not sure whether Anna did a swatch today. So we have Ashley first. Oh, good with this, Ashley. Anything else to add?
Yeah, I didn't really, nope. I've just been enjoying Carrie's pickles.
Maybe we see Buffy's again too. I think she was
Yeah, I
trying.
want to see what, but I saw her peeling the tape without us looking, and I'm not happy about it.
Okay. Let's put all frames together for those 4. We have Buffy's. We already have Ashley, Sabine, Buffy's, Carrie's, and I saw just now. I saw Gio did an abstract there.
Oh, pretty.
Beautiful.
Here we go, Ashley. Ready?
Ooh.
Yes.
Wow.
Giovanni. Wow.
Is that awesome?
Beautiful.
That's awesome.
Wow.
You ambassadors rock. You all rock.
That is so cool that it worked. I'm shocked.
Talented bunch of people.
I know,
This,
right?
this is very quick for me. I remember this only for this stick is available for this 20 color selection for session today.
Only
Is
4
a
available in
yeah,
stick. Yeah.
rich green gold, undersea green, and yellow ochre, and a little quick bush plant.
Beautiful.
That is so
Thank
pretty.
you.
Buffy, will you leave that white, Buffy, or will you tint it a little bit?
Gosh, that is up to this painting. So normally, yes, normally what I do is I will take a little bit of water. Like say right here is just too bold. Sometimes it's fun though to be really, bold, just to be crazy, but I'll just take a nice flat brush and I'll just soften it, and it'll actually soften the edge too, which is nice. So sometimes that's all I'll have to do. And then I'll just let it be somewhat abstract. But other times I'll go in and paint some more. But see how that's soft now compared to over here?
Yes.
So as it dries, as I pull all the tape off and as it dries, I'll decide what more it needs. I really like to leave it as fresh as I can because of the transparency. And like right now you can see the brush strokes and you can see this crazy granulation. So I'll just have to take all the tape off and play with it a little bit, but I'm just so happy that this tape works.
That's exciting.
You guys did a discovery with me.
Beautiful.
What kind of tape was it, Buffy?
It is the Contractor
2020.
Grade Scotch Tape 2020. And I believe it was Lorraine Watry that shared on one of these lives.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and I bought it and I thought, you know what, I need to, because that's what goes wrong with these lives is I'll end up buying stuff and then I won't use it. And so I was like, no, I want to use it. I want to try it. Plus the last painting I did with masking fluid, I got angry. So I thought, you know, I'll see how this works. And I really like it.
I found a 6-pack of this tape on Amazon and it wasn't very expensive. So yeah, it's good stuff.
Contractors 80/20.
It's just Scotch brand. Mine doesn't say Contractors anywhere on it, but yeah. Oh yeah, it does. Contractor grade Scotch 2020. Yeah.
6-pack, that is for life.
Yeah, right.
I've been letting my students use it, so we're going through it pretty quick because they're taping their paintings done with it.
All right. I think we have another fruitful session, Thursday session today with greens.
Yes, we did.
And yellows. Again, if you have not subscribed to our newsletter, please do so because you always get this Thursday live recap. And again, you can also just rewatch it from Facebook stream or from our YouTube channel. Thank you so much, Buffy, Carrie, Sabine,
Thank you.
Ashley and Gio and Caroline, and of course Stella. There are a few more BAs in the room today. Tomorrow,
Very beautiful.
Join us tomorrow. Our guest is Sylvia Mong. Did I pronounce it correctly?
All right. Yes, Sylvia Mong.
She's from Costa Rica. And our host tomorrow will be our dear Stella. Okay.
Oh, Stella. Hey.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Thank you all for joining. See you tomorrow.
Thank you. Bye.
everybody.
Bye, everybody.
See you tomorrow, Stella.